I'm in the dressing room. 5 minutes before I come out, my gloves are laced up. I'm breaking my gloves down. I'm pushing the lever in the back of my glove. I'm breaking the middle of the gloves for my knuckle could pierce through the leather. I feel my knuckle piercing against the tight leather gloves on the Everlast boxing glove. When I come out, I have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death. I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated, but I'm totally confident. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get. The closer, more confidence I get. The closer, more confidence I get. All during my training, I've been afraid of this man. I thought this man might be capable of beating me. I've dreamed of him beating me, but I always stayed afraid of him. But the closer I get to the ring, I'm more confident. Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one could beat me. I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. He can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him. Then once I see a chink in his armor, boom, and one of his eyes may move, and then I know I have him. And then when he comes to the center of the ring, he still looks at me with his piercing look, and as if he's not afraid. But he already made that mistake when he looked down for that 1/10 of a second. I know I had him. He'll fight hard for the first 2 or 3 rounds, but I know I already broke his spirit. During the fight, I'm supremely confident. I'm moving my head, he's throwing punches. I'm making him miss and I'm countering. I'm hitting him to the body, I'm punching him real hard. And I'm punching, when I'm punching him, I know he's not able to take my punches. 1, 2, 3 punches, I'm throwing him punches in bunches. He goes down, he's out. I'm victorious. Mike Tyson, greatest fighter ever lived.
هذا هو مايك تايسون. هذا هو مايك تايسون. ثقته في روحه أقوى من آثار البنية متاعه على المنافسين، وبالثقة هذه عاش وحقق مايك تايسون في عالم الملاكمة عدة انتصارات وألقاب. وانطلاقا من ليلة في كاو باش نحكيو على تايسون، على حياته، على انتصاراته، وأيضا على هزائمه والفضايح والمشاكل اللي ارتبطت باسمه. وفي كاو باش نرافقوكم مع مسيرة تايسون من اللي بدا البوكس، اعتناقه للإسلام، اعتزاله واتجاهه نحو التمثيل. وإذا العباد ما بقت تتذكر من مايك تايسون كان إنه البوكسور اللي قدم هوليفيلد، فإنه الحلقات القادمة من كاو باش يأكدوا لكم إنه مسيرة تايسون أكبر بياسر من الحكاية هذه. العنف في شخصية تايسون ظهر من اللي هو صغير، وفي سن 13 سنة لقى تايسون روحه في مايكس تايرون لإصلاح الجانحين. والغادي تعرف تايسون على بوبي ستيوارت، حارس في السجن لكنه أيضا بوكسور قديم. وعرف بوبي ستيوارت تايسون بكوس داماتو، مدرب مشهور في البوكس، سبق انه درب ابطال كيف ما فلويد باترسون وجوزي توريس. وقرر داماتو انه يتبنى تايسون رياضيا، وانه يخرجوا من عالم الانحراف نحو عالم الاحتراف في البوكس، وهزوا يعيش معاه في داره. وين بدات التدريبات اليومية الشاقة. بداية تايسون في الملاكمة كانت في صنف الهواة، ومن أول ماتش ليه ضد جوزي كورتيز أكد تايسون للمدربين وللنقاد إنه عنده ما يقول في البنية متاعه، لأنه في 8 ثواني فقط تحصل تايسون على اللقب الأول متاعه.
as we come back live to the campus of RPI in Troy, New York, there he is, the young protege of Customado, heavyweight prodigy Mike Tyson. The record you see there, 17 wins, no losses, all 17 by knockout. And there's a good look at Jesse Ferguson, 28 years old, a late bloomer who's been fighting professionally only for 3 years. Probably his most significant accomplishment to be found in his only loss. 5 months ago in Atlantic City, Ferguson twice put Carl the Truth Williams on the floor before succumbing to a 10th round technical knockout.
ومن أشهر ماتشوات تايسون في عالم الهواة المباراة اللي جمعته بجيسي فيرغسون. الموعد كان نهار 16 فيفري 1986. تايسون يحب يأكد أنه انتصارات البدايات ما جاو الصدفة، خاصة أنه الماتش هذايا كان أول بارتي تتعدى لتايسون مباشرة في التلفزة. ومن جهته فيرغسون يحب يثبت للناس أنه تايسون مجرد فرقعة إعلامية، والتفاصيل نتفرجوا فيها في كاو.
All right, there is Ferguson as he has been introduced. You heard the polite chorus of boos which accompanied the mention of his name, and now he steps to the ring to a louder chorus of boos. And now the place will explode. Of Tyson's 17 fights, many have been here in this area. You wonder what pressure, if any, Tyson experiences at this stage of his career. He has recently been on the cover of national magazines, notably Sports Illustrated and The Ring magazine, a feature in People magazine. At 19 years of age, he has reached a level of eminence previously reserved in recent years only for Olympic gold medalists. And it has been kind to Mike Tyson. Here we go. He is a fast starter.
One thing we should mention, Jimmy, before the action heats up too much, is this is a 16-foot ring, very much to Tyson's liking.
Starting out, going to the body. A couple of those punches appeared low.
In the Carl Williams fight, we saw Jesse Ferguson go into the corner and onto the ropes, and then counter with left hooks off the ropes.
Referee is Luis Rivera out of New York City. And already Ferguson has lasted longer than have some of Tyson's 12 first-round knockout victims. But now, Tyson got an uppercut through the guard.
A major league body puncher. One of the things that distinguishes him, even in the amateurs, Mike Tyson can throw great body shots. He takes what you give him, and right now Jesse Ferguson is just giving him the body.
But Ferguson is standing still and allowing Tyson to swing away at the ribcage.
We saw a few seconds ago one of the things that makes Tyson so special. He threw a tremendous left hook, missed with it, and didn't go off balance. Always in position to punch.
First sign of aggression from Ferguson there, but he went back into the shell.
If form holds true, Jesse Ferguson at some point in that strategy of laying on the ropes will come out firing at the left hook. And if he does, and if he connects with Tyson's chin, we may have one of the questions that surrounds Mike Tyson's career answered.
Come on, step back. Come on, let it go. Let it go. Come on.
Mike Tyson is pacing himself more at this point, Jim. Generally, he would rip punches with both hands without caring about what the opponent did in return. He has some respect for Jesse Ferguson's power. He is not letting his hands go with the speed and consistency that he did in his first 17 fights.
One good left. He seems to be gaining a little bit of confidence. 15 seconds to go in the round. Ferguson about to become the 6th of Mike Tyson's 18 opponents to make it through round 1. And we'll be back. We are back and ready for the beginning of round 2 in Troy, New York. Jesse Ferguson stepping out of his corner in the red trunks. The black trunks belong to 19-year-old Mike Tyson. Tyson's average bout to this point in his career lasted 2 minutes 58 seconds.
Ferguson has gone farther than the average Tyson opponent. As I mentioned, only the 6th of 18 men to face Tyson in his professional career to make it as far as round 2. We apologize for the quality of our audio at this moment. We are on our backup audio line. We'll stay with you. Now we're told that it's Tyson getting through the guard again.
And in that one brief combination, you saw the speed of Mike Tyson, the thing that makes him special. Not just power, but he really gets the punch there quickly.
Thus far, Tyson has been content to concentrate mostly on the body.
He hurt Ferguson a little bit with one of those body shots, Jim. Right now, Ferguson's just fighting a survival fight, trying to pull Tyson in close where he can't do it, smother his punches. Tyson, on the other hand, is not being as busy as he normally would be.
Ferguson said that he absolutely would not try to wait Tyson out and drag him into later rounds where he hasn't been before. But it might not be an inadvisable strategy. Tyson only once has been as far as round 5. That was in his most recent bout against Mike Jamison. TKO early in the 5th.
And in that fight with Jamison, which did last in the 5th round, it seemed that Mike got a little bit discouraged. He was in with an opponent that just grabbed him and looked to survive, and he really didn't keep his concentration. Be interesting to see fighting the same kind of opponent here in Ferguson, who's not giving him very many punching opportunities, if he continues to stay on top and keep his concentration and keep in the fight.
Okay. You see that both fighters like to crouch over and get low as they deliver their punches. Their heads are going to be very close together through much of this action. And Jesse Ferguson, fighting defensively, appears to have made it as far as the end of round 2 against Mike Tyson. Round 3. Jesse Ferguson is only the 4th fighter to make it that far with Mike Tyson. Good right. We saw Ferguson recoil to the ropes, but that time Tyson did not attempt to follow up.
Two of the questions that boxing people have raised about Mike Tyson that have yet to be answered are his chin and his stamina. Right now, he's been in 3 tough rounds. Not tough in the sense he's taking a lot of punishment, but he's throwing a lot. And I think the pressure of the event has got to drain something out of him. He is not breathing heavily. He looks in pretty good shape at this point.
You would find almost no one in the arena who believed before this began that it would go to a decision. But if it were to go that far, certainly Tyson has won the first 2 rounds and is controlling the 3rd.
You see quickness in Mike Tyson that really you've never seen with a fighter of his build in the heavyweight division. Of course, Muhammad Ali was quicker. Of course, perhaps Floyd Patterson was quicker, although Customato, who trained and managed them both, said that he believes Tyson may be quick as Patterson. But never a man with that build, with that much power, throwing punches that fast. He has not sustained it in this fight, but in flashes you have seen what has impressed so many people in his pro career to date.
You mentioned, of course, the relationship to Patterson. Both fighters groomed by the now late Customato. Their physical attributes are so dissimilar that there is really no direct comparison in style between the two fighters.
Three solid right uppercuts by Ferguson, and Tyson did not appear fazed by it. You might be able to see here that the fighters are fighting with 8-ounce Everlast thumbless gloves. The 8 ounces instead of 10 ounces would favor a puncher like Tyson. As with the size of the ring we mentioned earlier, 16 feet 8 inches the ring. The thumbless gloves mandatory in New York State in non-title fights. That flurry right there by Tyson, he did not sit down on his punches. He threw a lot of punches, but they were, for him, pity-pat punches. He's got to set himself. Once again, those are arm punches.
Coming to the end of round 3. Already is becoming an interesting and educational experience for Mike Tyson, though a fight, like all the others he's been in which to this point he is totally in control. Round 4, and Jesse Ferguson now joins two fighters, one named Don Halpin, another named Mike Jamison, as the only two men to have made it this far in the professional ranks in the ring with Mike Tyson. In case you have joined us late, the man in the black trunks is the young phenomenon of the heavyweight division, 19-year-old Michael Tyson, originally from Brooklyn, New York, now lives in Catskill, New York. 17 straight knockouts, 12 of them first-round knockouts, coming into this, his toughest test so far.
A few moments ago, Jesse Ferguson looked over to referee Louis Rivera for some help. He just got hit a low blow, as he has been hit a few during this fight. His problem is his trunks are slipping down below his protector.
Now Jesse appears to want to say something to Tyson about the low blows. And the referee warns him not to headbutt Tyson. Crowd beginning to get restless. They would like to see Ferguson fighting a somewhat more offensive effort. Though so far, I have to think he's shown some intelligence, Alex.
Well, he's fought to survive and not to win. He just threw one of the very infrequent left hooks that we touted and has, in fact, been his trademark through his career. He hasn't let the punch go because he's been safety-minded throughout this fight to date. He may be just pacing himself, trying to wait until Tyson tires himself out from all of these home run punches he's throwing, and then looking to come on in the late rounds.
Jim Lapley with Alex Wallow. Ringside, ABC Sports live from Troy, New York. Scheduled 10-round heavyweight fight between Mike Tyson and Jesse Ferguson. Tyson in the black trunks, Ferguson in the red. And coming into this round, Tyson has won all 3 previous rounds with almost dead certainty.
If there is such a thing as dead certainty in the scoring of a boxing match.
And you're here to tell us there isn't, I'm sure. Referee Luis Rivera becoming considerably more active now in this 4th round than he was particularly in the first 2 rounds of the fight.
Watch your head.
This was the least active round of the fight. We begin round 5. You were with us at the end of round 4. You saw that immediately following the bell, Mike Tyson delivered a right-hand shot to the body of Jesse Ferguson. Ferguson was quite angry about it. Some of you may have seen Ferguson's cornermen jumping into the ring to keep him away from unnecessary extracurricular activity. Whatever the reason, Ferguson has come out more aggressively in round 5 than at any previous time in the fight. Beginning to throw that left.
Mike Tyson has not thrown a punch in this round thus far. Ferguson's done all the punching, not much scoring, but he has kept Tyson at bay. As soon as Tyson moves in, he doesn't come in firing. He just stepped in and put his head on Ferguson's shoulder, and Ferguson accepted the clinch until Luis Rivera broke them.
3 weeks ago, Tyson scored a TKO over a fighter named Mike Jamison at 46 seconds of the 5th round in Atlantic City. As of right now, Jesse Ferguson has lasted longer in the ring with the professional Mike Tyson than any of his 17 previous pro opponents. So Ferguson has at least that distinction to carry with him as he attempts to gain confidence as the bout goes on.
It's difficult to judge the motivation of a fighter, but I would say that Mike Tyson is trying to do 2 things here. One, he's trying to pace himself. I think he has some questions about his stamina, and he's trying to get some questions answered here as well. And the second thing he's trying to do is be careful not to get in the way of one of Jesse Ferguson's left hooks. I think he respects Ferguson, and he's just not going to come in firing, leaving himself open as he was able to do against lesser opponents.
Ferguson, in his 10-round loss to Carl the Truth Williams, a TKO defeat, not a decision, was in trouble in both the 1st and 10th rounds, and now he's in trouble here. Blood coming out from the nose of Jesse Ferguson. The right uppercut of Tyson has put him down. 6, 7, 8. Up at 9 is Jesse Ferguson.
I think that uppercut broke Ferguson's nose, Jim. He is in desperate trouble. He will not last much longer. Rivera almost stopped it there. Mike Tyson's known as a great finisher. Let's see how he does with Ferguson.
Ferguson gamely hanging in, having trouble covering up. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And Jesse Ferguson barely made it out of round 5. Beginning of round 6. First time as a professional Tyson's ever been in this round. Ferguson trying to jab.
Every great champion has to know how to finish an opponent when he has him hurt. Jesse Ferguson is hurt. Let's see how Mike Tyson does to take him out.
The left hook did some damage.
Jesse Ferguson not taking the break, holding on to Tyson's left hand. He's just going to hold until Rivera has to absolutely pry them apart. It's not going to be enough for Rivera to say break. He's going to have to get in there and force him apart.
Another left. Delivered in close quarters.
See, Ferguson just is not listening to Rivera at all. He's just going to continue to hold until he just physically forces him out.
Can't say I blame him.
The only thing Rivera can do is what he just did. Give him a warning. And take points away if he continues to do it. Tyson's making a mistake by letting himself get this close to Ferguson. He must maintain a little bit of distance so that he's going to take a point. He's disqualifying him. He disqualified Jesse Ferguson for clinching and refusing to break when ordered. He had warned him earlier in this round. Jesse Ferguson refused to break. The referee, Luis Rivera, disqualified him, and ironically, that breaks Mike Tyson's KO string. That will go down in the books as a win disqualification. It will not be his 18th straight knockout.
One of the dubious distinctions of the year. Jesse Ferguson becomes the first of Mike Tyson's 18 professional opponents not to suffer a knockout, and he did it by almost forcing the
في الجولة الخامسة تايسون كسر أنف المنافس متاعه فيرغسون، والحكم اضطر انه يوقف الماتش في الروندا السادسة بسبب اللعب السلبي، وكسب تايسون رهان أول ظهور مباشر ليه على التلفزة في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية.
And you saw the explosive punching power which has made him the talk of the heavyweight division.
You know, I never get frustrated because I know we have a 10-round limit. And the crop of heavyweights nowadays having a little difficulty going the full 10 rounds. And the way they have it planned in their mind to beat me is to jab, pot shot, and grab me. But it's 10 rounds, and eventually I'm gonna catch them.
بعد أشهر قليلة من انتصاره على فيرغسون، وبعد 54 ماتش و48 انتصار في عالم الهواة، انتقل تايسون لعالم الاحتراف، وكان هذا بالتحديد يوم 6 سبتمبر 1986. ما قعدش تايسون يستنى برشا باش ينافس على اللقب العالمي في الوزن الثقيل، وكان الموعد اللي حلم بيه يوم 22 نوفمبر 1986 وقت اللي واجه تايسون البطل العالمي تريفور فيربيك اللي سبق وربح محمد علي كلاي. الرهان اللقب العالمي WBC، والتفاصيل نتفرجوا فيها في كون.
Championship of the world. Introducing in the blue corner, fighting out of Catskill, New York.
All right, and with the words of Mills Lane, we're ready. I don't know about you folks, but here at the Hilton Hotel, there is electricity in the crowd. I've got goosebumps. On the line, the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Trevor Berbick will try to stop Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has trained his whole life for this. Look at him, Tyson to the right of your screen, Berbick in the corner to your left. We're just about ready for round one. Wants to prove that he's one of the great champions. Let's see how long his reign lasts. Mike Tyson kind of feeling him out here, but he goes with that right-hand lead right away. You get the idea now that Berbick is showing a little false bravado here. Standing toe-to-toe is not the way. If he doesn't pump that jab in the face, Tyson will come right through him. Tyson with the left, bounces it off the forehead of Trevor. Trevor tries to work underneath. Tyson will have no part of it. Notice the movement of the head of Mike Tyson as he takes a light left jab. Tyson will be able to get underneath it. Oh, wow! With a right, another left hook that just raises. Trevor, with this bravado, could get in some big trouble in a hurry. He's taking big chances with Tyson, not feeling him out at all. This early going in round one, a lot better than we thought it might be. Trevor came to fight. But this is exactly what Tyson likes. Notice that Berbick is standing directly in front of him. That is, a left hook that really caught him. That is disaster for all of the opponents of Mike Tyson. He's standing flat-footed right in front of him, and he's going to get clipped. Believe me, folks, he's going down. You can't fight Tyson this way. It's great that he has the courage, but this is a poor fight plan. Oh, the right hand gets him behind the left ear. Berbick tries to push him off, not the way to keep him up. Notice the lazy left. Watch Tyson load up with left and rights. He knows that he can score now. Mike Tyson to the right of your screen, shorter, heavier, younger, and bolder than Trevor Berbick. Berbick has felt the wrath of the right and the left hands of Mike Tyson in what just in round one. Tyson clips him with a light left that time. You get the idea that Mike, as soon as, a right hand, but the left hook right there. Notice Tyson throws him in twos and threes. Trevor is getting lazy with the left hand. Notice the left hand is not pumping like it was against Pinklin Thomas when he won the title. That's a fear factor. He's away from his bravado in the early going of this round. Tyson having a good first round. Wow, with the uppercut, misses the left hook. Tyson Tyson is in total command in his head. He knows he can beat this guy right now. Notice Trevor not doing anything right now. He doesn't want to be in here with Tyson. He needs to use his 7 inches in reach, and you can't use it when you're head-to-head like this. Now the left should be pumping. Instead, Tyson will walk right through it. See this? Tyson walking right through. He's wild with the left hook as Berbick, and Tyson clips him with the left hand. Look at this. Combination. And Berbick ready to go, but he stays on his feet. Another right hand clips him. He can't take shots like this very long. Wow, with the right hand is Mike. Again, he's blocked. Catches him with a left hook. Trevor's ready to go again. Tyson knows that he can score at will now. Berbick doing nothing like he did against Pigland Thomas. Fighting in the wrong position. Not using the jab of the bell ends. Round one. A good round one for Mike Tyson. Well, at least Berbick didn't go down in the first round, but he's been staggered. Let's listen in the corner. Notice the replay where Tyson is getting through with the right hand, the left hook. He throws punches in bunches, and I learned that line from Angelo Dundee, who happens to be working with Trevor Berbick, but it's not Berbick who's throwing the bunches of punches. You see him staggered, you see the legs ready to go. Make no mistake, Tyson is in command. This may not go very long because he's got tremendous confidence now. This is Trevor Berbick. This is round two. The WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Trevor Berbick and Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away, and he's got Trevor in trouble, and he's down. He'll have to take the standing 8 count as he steps right up. The counts to 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and he says he's okay. Mills Lane lets them continue. Here comes Tyson again. He knows he can hurt him anytime. Left hook, right hand. Again, Trevor hanging on. But this is a defensive mode now. Trevor not trying to do anything offensively. Tyson has him under control. Left hook light. Watch for the uppercut. There it is. Didn't land, but he has the idea. Wow, with the right hand is Mike. Mike throwing caution to the wind. He's in total command in this fight right now. We're only in round 2, and the heavyweight champ already reeling is Trevor Berbick. You know, Mike Tyson gets fined $5,000 for wearing black trunks. He is the challenger here tonight, believe it or not. He looks like the champion right now, and it may not be too long before he wears that belt. Wild on the break, and Mills Lane warns Trevor about it. Trevor trying to do all he can, but what he's not doing is holding off Mike with the left. And you see the light left hook by Mike in the right hand. Mike knows he can hurt him. He had him down once in this round, wants to drop him again in a hurry. Usually what Tyson does is take that little dip, come with the uppercut, and really bang to the body, underneath the heart, or crush the right side of the rib cage. Instead he goes to the body downstairs, catches him with the right hand upstairs. 2 good rights in there. Caught in a bit of a camera switch there, and another right hand landed. See Mike just pawing. He's trying to line up that right hand, and he'll be right behind it with a left hook. Mike doesn't throw just one punch. When he gets a guy in real trouble, he usually knows how to finish. Look at these shots. All landing to the head of Trevor Berbick. It's just a matter of time before Mike gets the clean shot. Berbick hanging on like Mitch Green did. Bone Crusher Smith. Straight jab by Mike Tyson. 20 years old, Mike Tyson on his way to becoming one of the youngest heavyweight champions of all time. Bangs the body. Wow, with that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a light left hook, and he goes down. He goes down. He should be able to get up from this. His legs may be shut. They are. As Trevor Berbick falls back in the ropes. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. He's got the heart, but his body won't let him do what his mind wants to. And he's counted out. It'll be scored as a knockout. Mills Lane counted him out to 10. It's all over. We've got a brand new heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. Well, Trevor Berbick was brave and he only going to round 1. And from about the midway point in round 1, he couldn't do anything. There's Jimmy Jacobs in there. Bill Caton also works with him. A very happy Don King. Kevin Rooney congratulates his champion. Jose Torres there in the ring with Mike as well. Former light heavyweight champion of the world. Trevor is disappointed, can't believe what's happened, and it's jubilation for the corner of this guy, Mike Tyson. Let's watch the finishing blow. A crushing right hand. then a right hand right in the temporal bone, and he's in trouble here. He reels backwards. That's the very first knockdown of the fight, and he's able to get back up, and you saw the punches that landed. He misses that uppercut, but notice it's all Tyson. Berbick doing nothing offensively, and he crashes down. Mills Lane sends him to the corner, and look at the courage. Again, his mind and heart want to get up, but his body won't allow him to. His legs are rubberized. Look at him. Mills Lane continues the count. And it'll be scored as a knockout for Mike Tyson. And that's it. He's not ready. And Mills Lane says, no, you're not back to your feet. It's all over. And we've got a brand new WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And he's a youngster named Mike Tyson, who can reign for a long, long time. Most people in boxing say the only thing that can beat Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson himself. That remains to be seen. Trevor Berbick reign as the WBC heavyweight champ is over. As bad as his mind wanted it, the body wouldn't allow him to continue. A disappointing night for a game and valiant former WBC champ. Look at this. Berbick won the title 8.
زوز روندات برك كانوا كافيين المايك تايسون باش يتربع على العرش العالمي وهو عمره 20 سنة، وهذا رقم قياسي مازال يحتفظ به لليوم. أصغر بوكسور في التاريخ يتحصل على البطولة العالمية للوزن الثقيل، واللقب هذايا اهداه تايسون للشخص اللي علمه قواعد البوكس، كوس داماتو.
Dedicate my fight to my great guardian, Customato, and I'm sure he's up there and he's looking and he's talking to all the great fighters and saying his boy did it.
في نفس العام أي 1986 تم اختيار مايك تايسون كأفضل ملاكم بعد ما ربح 28 مباراة منهم 26 بالكو. في فيديو الأسبوع مازلنا مكملين الجمعة هذه مع الأولاد الصغار والرياضات الدفاعية، وبعد ما تفرجنا على أبطال من الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية ومن روسيا، هذوما أبطال المستقبل في الكيك بوكسينج من تونس. استناونا الجمعة الجاية في كاو نكملوا نحكيوا على مايك تايسون والكومبا باش يكون بينه وبين توني تاكر. Somebody trying to foist a spokesman.